Nothing like getting back to work after a full week's worth of rest. Dallas back in action after the bye week, and we're here on Cowboys Rewind to get you ready for the big game against the Green Bay Packers. I'm your host, Hailey Sutton. Happy to be with you here. The Cowboys will travel to Lambeau Field this week to take on conference rival Green Bay in what will be Mike McCarthy's first trip back to his former team. It's been an emotional week for the head coach, and despite the history with the team and his ties to Green Bay, McCarthy insists he's focused on one thing: leaving at 7-2.
I really want to win the game. Is that enough? Yeah. It'd be great. Hey, we're 6-2. Monday of the bye week, this is, for me, it's really the same as it's always been. You have a chance to really take a deep dive into the things that we've done very well, things we need to improve on, and that's really what we spent today on. Also we have what we call across the hall. I know we've talked about that before in here, and the players just love it. So, we had that session this morning, and that's awesome. Joe Witt and Ryan Feeder, took from a defensive perspective with the quarterback. So there's just a lot of great meetings. I'm actually looking forward to watching the videotape on that. So, but I talked about the Green Bay experience. I wasn't going to, I don't think I'd have been doing my job if I didn't, address it. And trust me, I'm the last person that wants to create any type of distraction or questions for somebody else, because we're at the point in the year now. We're starting the third quarter of the season, and we know what it takes to win a football game. And we're obviously, they're coming off a tough loss, and we're really into trying to get an advantage today, and we're spending the afternoon right now working on Green Bay, and we're gonna have a light practice here at 4 o'clock. So I mean, that's really where my mind's at. So like I said, I'm just here for you wonderful people and your incredible questions. So.
Huey Scruggs, NBC5 Dallas. You're the last coach to win a Super Bowl for Green Bay. If there was a video tribute for you, the fans were clapping for you, how would that be received?
The fans clapping? I'd take that. I mean, I'm not going to – absolutely. Green Bay fans are very nice, and then we're expecting them to be nice Sunday afternoon. But, no, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. That's, I'm going there to win.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. What did you learn during your tenure there?
What did I learn?
Yeah, what did you take here?
Oh, shoot. I mean, so much. I think any coach, as you go through this profession, I mean, if you're not learning every day, then you're not growing. So I've grew a lot there. Grew a lot personally, professionally. Learned a lot what not to do too. I think that's part of the experience. That's part of being vulnerable, honest, all those things. So, yeah, I mean, Tad only has us slated for a couple more minutes here, so that's a very long answer. Yeah, no, a lot that I'm thankful for. Very, very grateful for my time there, the relationships. So, and hopefully I'm doing a better job applying that to this program here.
Mike McCarthy spent 13 seasons as the head coach for the Packers, where he led the team to a Super Bowl championship in 2010. His roots clearly run very deep in that community. He even has a street named after him. But make no mistake, McCarthy isn't using the trip to Lambeau as a walk down memory lane. You heard him say he wants to win the game. Well, his players also want to win. Several of them spoke this week about why it's so easy to go to war for their head coach.
But not a lot has to be said about this week. We know what our coach means to us. We know how long he was up there. We know how special this, I guess you can say, going back is going to be for him. But more importantly, it's about this team, what we've got building, where we're going, and getting this win. Today's his birthday, so it'll be a birthday weekend for him, and that'll be his present.
This one for us, thinking back to the rivalry, we're not really thinking much into that. We want to get this one for our head coach. Being that he was there for some years, he won a championship there, and just going out there and taking care of business for him would be that's enough motivation for us to go out there and do some tremendous things.
A win on Sunday would make McCarthy just one of 3 active head coaches to have defeated all 32 NFL teams. He also celebrated his 59th birthday this week, so no better present than a win in his former hometown. Someone else looking forward to winning, though, Odell Beckham Jr. Why the Cowboys think the free agent wide receiver could make an impact in Dallas, and how bad the players actually want him wearing that star. Coming up next on Cowboys Rewind.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
On the other hand, Odell is someone that we have all the appreciation in the world for what he is as a competitor, and know that the Cowboy star on that helmet, when he puts it on, could look pretty good.
Well, the headlines just write themselves for Jerry Jones, who flirted with the idea of having OBJ join the Cowboys roster. And wouldn't it be nice, Cowboys fans, if we could have Beckham making one of those one-handed catches behind the head for us instead of against us? Well, the players feel the same way, and they've been very vocal both on social media and in interviews. They want wide receiver Odell Beckham in Dallas.
I just been saying stuff, and we could use him. You know, I think he's a great player. He'll expand his offense. He'll do more. He brings a lot of, you know, he's a guy that you want on the team. I mean, besides all the critical stuff that people make up and about him, I think he's a great dude from my experience with him every time I see him. And I mean, I think he can add real value to the team and help us do what we want to do.
I mean, we know the type of player Odell is. You know the type, how explosive he can be, and you know what he can be for this offense. So I mean, it'd be great to get him down here in Dallas. Just another weapon in our little repertoire. So I mean, hopefully we get OBJ to Dallas.
Oh, that's my boy. I'm a fan of Odell for sure. I feel like here, why wouldn't you want to add, you know, more firepower to this offense?
Well, the smiles say it all. So just how big of an impact would OBJ be on the Cowboys roster? Me and the gals talked all about it on Girls Talk, Boys Talk earlier this week.
How much of an impact, if at all, does Odell Beckham make on this wide receiver group?
Oh, I think that he makes maybe not an immediate impact, but the threat of him on the field, I think, is going to mean something to this offense moving forward. Also, too, you're looking for someone to work that intermediate stuff, slot work, stuff like that. And I would hope that he would still have some of that speed and that ability off the line of scrimmage. I also think that this is, I don't know if we're going to get into if we think that he fits here, but I think that when you look at all of the logistics, the cap space, all that stuff, it makes sense. It seems like it is definitely doable if it's there, and it would benefit this team moving forward with a young receiver core. Also, I'm curious to see what happens with Noah Brown. What's going on with him? I know he was dealing with that foot injury missed last game. I wonder if the depth there concerning whether if he's going to play or not is going to play any role in the decision. So I'm a little nervous. Like, y'all know, I already told you I'm very open. I get the BGs when this type of stuff is going on. Like, what's going on here?
Not the BGs.
At least I'm honest about it.
Beckham has been a free agent this season as he continues to rehab his knee, but when healthy, we all know what Odell is capable of. Just look at his numbers from his last season in LA. 48 catches for 593 yards and 7 touchdowns for the Rams. And he's had countless incredible plays in his career that make him an intriguing target for the Cowboys front office. We will see how the OBJ rumors pan out, but as we look ahead to Sunday's game, why Dallas cannot take Aaron Rodgers lightly. Next on Cowboys Rewind.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Prior to Sunday's meeting, Dallas and Green Bay have squared off 29 times in the regular season, with the Packers holding a 16-13 advantage in that span. And their future Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, holds a dominating 7-2 record when starting against America's team. And while the Packers have come into this one with a 3-6 record and on a 5-game losing streak, the guys on Hit Sticks explain why you can never count out the Packers when number 12 is behind center.
It hasn't been the start to the season that Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers could have hoped for. However, QB1 for the Packers is still very dangerous. He's a back-to-back MVP for a reason. He's won 7 of his last 8 matchups with the Cowboys, including in the playoffs. And so he's also had some success in the regular season. 11 touchdowns and just 1 interception against Dallas. So with Aaron Rodgers in this offense struggling to this point, Isaiah, how can he still be dangerous, especially whenever you're playing on Madden?
You already said it, KY. This is Aaron. This dude is a threat. He's been a threat. Mr. Back-to-back MVP. Players don't just stumble upon MVPs. You got to go out there and earn it. And that's what he's been doing over the past few seasons. Now, all of a sudden, you take away his number 1 threat. You know, and all of a sudden, he has to start trying to find these young guys to start getting some plays out there. Last week against the Detroit Lions, he was not Aaron. He was just Aaron. Okay, so Aaron last week had a lot of missed opportunities, underthrows, overly confident. We've heard Dak Prescott talk about being overly confident. That's what Aaron Rodgers' time was last week. But you cannot rely on him to continue to make those mistakes. You know what he's capable of, so you better respect him, especially when you're going against BC.
Without a doubt, and this is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's been playing the game since 1955, so it's going to be hard to disguise your coverage. He's seen everything that the NFL has to offer. So what we've got to do to make this guy uncomfortable, I think we have to make him uncomfortable in the pocket, which means our defensive line, they're going to have to eat out there. And this offensive line for the Packers, it's slightly banged up, so we're going to have to take advantage of that, make sure Aaron Rodgers is uncomfortable. But on the outside, I'm not afraid of your pass catchers. I'm not afraid of Sammy Watkins. I'm not afraid of Allen Lazard or Watson in the slot. I'm not afraid of none of those guys, so you know what I'm going to do.
Oh, bring him up.
Press him up.
Bring him out.
Press him up. Let's see what Aaron Rodgers can do when his wide receivers gets no separation.
Let's see what we got here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, okay.
I'm right here with it.
I'm
right here
Find
with
a hole.
it.
Find a hole. Let's go, baby. Oh, and he's high stepping on me.
Where's the
Don't hit the start button on me. Don't hit the
God.
start button on me.
Where's
That's
the
what
coverage?
happens whenever you give Aaron too much time in the pocket. You already talked about it. The biggest thing that you can do to make him uncomfortable is to simply put some pressure on him.
As Isaiah alluded to at the end of that clip, this could be another game for the defense to show off. The Packers offense banged up across the board as injuries have suffocated the roster ahead of this game. It bodes well for one of the best pass rushing defenses in the league. The Cowboys have only allowed 1 of their 8 opponents to pass for 200 net yards or more this season. And if they keep Green Bay under that mark, it will be the 3rd time in franchise history that Dallas has held 8 of its first 9 opponents to that number. It's a goal the defense is hoping to achieve on Sunday.
From my experience, what problems does Aaron Rodgers?
You played against him several times. So based on your experience of having played with him, what things do you have to do well against him?
Oh, man, your fundamentals got to be on point. Your details, communication with your defense have to be on point. But one thing I think is special about Aaron Rodgers and what he does is he actually, plays the game of football to what you're doing. So if we're, situational change and, bringing somebody off the field, now he's back on the ball because he don't want us changing personnel. So I feel like that's his, his biggest thing is he already got a play in his back pocket and he can, get his guys on the ball fast.
That said, how much can you guys grow from getting an experience mid-season like that, going up against that?
You say how much we will?
How much can this defense grow and kind of continue to develop, getting to go up against a challenge like that?
Oh, yeah, man. It's a great opportunity for us. Coming out the bye week, making sure all our details and our communication is, to a heightened level. That's what we need right now. So, being able to go up to Green Bay, a tough environment, different environment, it'll be good for us. Thank y'all.
Coming up next on Cowboys Rewind, I sat down with wide receiver Michael Gallup to talk football, fatherhood, and everything in between in this week's edition of First and 10. Michael Gallup made his return to the lineup in Week 4 this season after spending the offseason rehabbing a torn ACL. And as we cross into the second half of the season, the 5th-year wide receiver is continuing to make strides, both on the field and as a father. So I want to start out just with you. You're going into, I guess this is year 5 for you. What were your expectations of yourself coming into the season?
Well, hopefully it'll be a little bit better. I was just trying to get on the field at first, but, you know, I got a little injury. It's kind of hard to get back into the routine. You gotta stay into it. But it's been good so far. I think we've been climbing up just a little bit every day.
You mentioned that injury is an ACL tear that you were working back through. I don't want to get too much into the details of that, but did your perspective about the game of football change at all while you were rehabbing that knee?
I mean, my perspective about just walking changed a little bit, but definitely I got to see it from a different view. You know, you might have to run your route or do something just a little bit different now just because of that injury. But yeah, definitely saw it a little bit, you know, wider now.
Kind of more grateful for the sport, maybe?
Definitely.
Who or what did you maybe lean on during that time as you were preparing to get back on the field?
I would definitely say I leaned on family a whole lot. Because, you know, my teammates, you know, they were great, but it was the off season, so I didn't really get to see them like that. Same with the coaching staff and everything like that. Didn't get to see them too much, so always had family around, you know, just keeping me upbeat, keeping me positive. So I would definitely say my mom, my oldest sister, and then obviously my little dude, Lil Miles.
We're going to get to him in a minute. But I want to fast forward you to the Commanders game. You are finally ready to suit up. You get that touchdown. How much of a relief was that just to get that first one out of the way?
It was definitely a big relief because, you know, I've been talking about it, you know, literally since like February. Once you get your feet back wet, you know, you'll be fine. But, you know, just the anticipation of everything. And then I finally got it, you know, close towards the end of the game. But, yeah, it was a big momentum for me. Just had smiles all the way down the sideline.
Yeah, you had a special moment there with Dak Prescott as well as he, you know, embraced you as you were coming off the field. Now that he's back in the rotation and he's back looking like Dak, how has that been and just how good is it to have him back on the field?
It's awesome seeing, you know, Dak come back out there because, you know, he had an injury before that with his ankle and everything, and he came back and just did what we all thought he was going to do, and that's what he did this past week, you know, coming out there and just, you know, being a general on the field as usual. Great leader, great friend. Everybody wants a 4 on their team.
Has your confidence in yourself changed at all? And again, no disrespect to Cooper Rush, but has your confidence maybe changed at all since having him back behind center?
I mean, you know, it's a little bit different. You know, they're both two different quarterbacks. You know, Dak's he's gonna legit talk to you and keep you upbeat. You know, Coop's he's just gonna play his game. He wants everybody to be around him, but you know, two different quarterbacks. So I would say, you know, the confidence, you know, between both of them, it was up there regardless, but just a different way of showing it.
Final segment of Cowboys Rewind coming your way next as we begin the third quarter of 2022, as Mike McCarthy describes it. We're taking a look at the top 10 plays from this season when we return. No doubt this year has been one to remember for Dallas Cowboys fans, and since so much has happened in 10 weeks, we wanted to give you a little reminder of all the fun things that have happened for this team. So as the Cowboys prepare for the second half of the season, here's a look back at what they accomplished before the bye week.
Here's Pollard, and sure enough, a first down and more. Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard, his third touchdown of the day. Little stutter step move by Parsons. Jones fires, and the pass is intercepted by Diggs. He goes down, and the Cowboys think they've wrapped it up. Pollard, right up the middle, Tony Pollard, breaking free, Pollard, cuts back, Pollard, all the way, touchdown Dallas. Play clock near one. Corner of the end zone. Lamb. One-handed try. He got it. Touchdown, Lamb. What a catch. And a great throw. When you're talking about running the route from the 2-yard line there. 4-man rush. Fields stepping up. Sidearm sling. He's got a connection. There goes Montgomery, who lost the football, and the Cowboys have it. It's Parsons on top of it. Micah Parsons on the move, and Micah Parsons is in.
The coldest game for the Cowboys so far this season, but Dallas will look to turn things up on Sunday. It's a 3:25 kick for America's team. Be sure to join us on Pregame Live as we count down to kickoff from Lambeau Field. I'm Hailey Sutton saying so long on Cowboys Rewind.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit swbcmortgage.com to find a pro today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.